After the completion of Module 2, now let's discuss some important questions and answers from Module 2 of this course. So the first question that can be asked in the examination is explain negative indexing, slicing, the methods like index, append, remove, pop, insert and sort. Now these answers can be found in the lecture number 16, 17 and 19 in the playlist. The next question that can be asked is explain the use of in and not in operations with examples. This can be found in the lecture 18, where in the initial part of the slide in and not in operations are used. So one thing you have to remember is any question which is asked theory, please give the concept. Explain what is, let's say, explain what is in operation, what is not operation, what is not in operation, and then give explain in theory what exactly is the functionality of this operation, and then give examples, and then write a relevant program. Writing a program, though it is not asked, it's very important to write, because explaining the theory is of no use unless you explain it with examples and a simple program. You can even write a simple program which shows the usage of in and not in, and write the expected output as well. And also remember, when you're writing the program, please give comments for each line to make the person who is correcting the paper to understand what exactly is the significance of each statements there. Okay. Next, develop a program to find mean, variance and standard deviation. So let's go to the MU editor and see the program for this. So you have to find the mean, variance and standard deviation. So we are giving a list of items like this and storing that in the variable called as list called as dataset, and then we are calling a function called as this function, for which we are passing the argument which is the data set. That is, we are passing the list 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the function. Now we go into the function. This is a function definition where x is going to contain the list. So first we are finding the length of the items, right? So the length of the items in this case is 5. So n will be equal to 5. Next, how to find the mean? Mean is 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 divided by 5. So that you can easily do using the sum function. So sum of x divided by n. So the mean will be calculated and it will be stored in the variable mean. Next, you have to find the variance. So how do you find the variance? The formula is, it's something like this. Suppose the mean I have calculated is, let's say you get 2.5. Then what is variance? Variance would be 3 minus the first element minus 2.5 square. Okay, square, plus, like that you go on doing it for each variable. 4 minus 2.5 square plus, again the next variable is 5 minus 2.5 square plus next variable is 6 minus 2.5 square plus, which is the next variable now, 7 minus 2.5 square, and this whole thing divided by 2. See, either you can write like this, or this, it doesn't make any divided by n minus 1, in this case 5 minus 1. Now either you can write like this to calculate the variance, or this doesn't make any sense, because you can see that we are having repetitive values, which is not a good way of programming. We have to put this in a for loop, and that's what is being done here. We have done item, means every item in the list minus the mean. This is raised to the power of 2, and then you put it in a loop. For item, we have to loop for every item in x, right? And then divided by n minus 1. So this thing has been implemented using for loop like this. And finally, after you find the variance, the square root of variance is nothing but standard deviation. So square root means variance to the power of 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5. So finally the values will be stored here. So let's execute this program. So you can see the mean, variance and standard deviation is printed. So coming to the next question, you have to explain the method length. They can also ask you to explain the method like max, min, or which are all there in lists, so if or even some. So it's very easy, you can use the previous program itself and demonstrate all of this. So if they ask you to demonstrate some function, just write this sum one is equal to, just write create a list, then write sum one is equal to sum of data set. That's all, very simple, and print it, right? If they ask you to find the max, then just write max data set. If you are to find the minimum value in the list, then just do this. It's a very simple thing, right? So like this you can write simple things, and please give print statements so that it is displayed, and also give appropriate comments for each line so that the examiner will understand what is asked. Or you want to find the length of the dictionary, just put len dataset. So they can ask any of these functions like this, right? These are all very simple functions in the list. So just create a list and explain how all these functions work, and give a print statement. And it is also explained in slide number or lecture number 17. Now get and set default method, we saw this in detail in lecture number 26, go through that. The next question, write magic 8-ball program using random and list, random function and list. This is explained in the lecture number 20. 7th, what are lists in Python and how are lists used to store and manipulate data. Now this is explained in the beginning of the slides in lecture number 16. Explain 4 built-in methods for working with lists, so that you can go through in lecture number 19, where more methods are given like insert, remove, append, sort. So you can select any 4 of them and explain. So as I told you, please explain what is the meaning of that method, give example, give programs. It is all there in the slides. Only when you do all the 3, don't see the marks. Just any question asked, any question is usually asked for 6 to 7 marks or 8 marks only, right? So when it means that you have to write what that method means, and put some example and put some simple program. Only then you can get full marks. Differentiate between list and dictionary, it is there in lecture number 25. Explain keys, values and items method, it's there in lecture number 26. Write a program to add elements into dictionary using while loops, or to read characters from the console and print a frequency of each digit with example. It's there in lecture number 27. And some other questions that can be asked is, are strings immutable? Explain string concatenation, string replication. This we have done in many presentations. So as we have already discussed, strings are immutable, but we can do concatenation and replication of that. Concatenation using plus operator, replication using the asterisk operator, and how give an example program to show how concatenation and replication can be done. What is negative slicing? This again, you just explain what is negative indexing, and then write a diagram to show the list, how positive indexes are done, how negative indexes are done, and write a simple program. Again, you have to write program irrespective of the marks. Let your program have some simple 4 to 5 lines, but it should be neatly written, neatly explained what is, and the comment should be given for every line to make the examiner understand what is exactly there in your program. Next question, how is tuples different from list, and which function is used to convert list to tuples? So as we know, lists are mutable, but tuples are immutable. Even strings are immutable. Tuples are enclosed within parentheses, whereas lists are enclosed within square brackets. Tuples are separated by comma. And write an example like how you can create a tuple, how you can create a list. Give a simple program to show how you are constructing a tuple or how you are constructing a list. Coming to the next question, how do you convert list to tuples or tuples to list? Very simple. See this example here. I have created a list. I am converting it to tuple by enclosing within parentheses and writing a tuple before that. So you can see it is converted to a tuple. And here in the second example, I have a tuple and I have converted into a list by writing list before it. Right, and here is a string, and the string I've converted into a list by writing here a list. So these 3 examples will show how we can do conversions. The next question, how is a dictionary different from list? This is also there in one of the slides where there is differences exactly between dictionary and list is explained. And there is a program here where it is saying we have to construct a dictionary which will have 2 things, city and population. City would be the key, population would be the value. And we have to traverse through the dictionary and display the most populous city. So let's go to the program for this. Okay, so this is the program. First, let's construct a dictionary. Let our dictionary be entry. This is the name of our dictionary. As of now, dictionary is empty, so that's why I'm just putting open and close braces. We are putting entirely this in a while true loop, so that we keep on asking to the user to enter the city and enter the population, and once a user says done, it will come out of the loop. So first, ask question to the user, enter the city. If he says done, you're out of the loop. Then you ask the user to enter the population, and remember it's an integer, so typecast is to integer. So city name is stored here, population number is stored here. Then we are updating our dictionary using this method of dictionary, where first thing is the key, the second one is the value. So once and then we are printing. So that means after every updation, every input, after every input from the user, we are displaying on the screen the city as well as the population. And then we are as an every time the city and population is updated into the dictionary, we are trying to take the max, and the max will be stored in this max p. So you're comparing two values. So every time the old value will be compared with a new value, and that would be stored in the max p. So once you are out of the loop, the maximum population will be there in max p. Okay, so now let's just execute this program. So let's say I have Bangalore. So let's say the population is something like this. Just put integers. Next, let's say I have Mysore. Let's say the population is this much. Then I have Belgaum. Let's say the population is this much. So once I want to finish, I type here done, and you can see that most populous city is Bangalore is displayed. So this is a simple program. Please go through this program. The next question they can ask is discuss get methods, items, keys and values in dictionary. Now this is discussed in detail in lecture number 26. So 17 questions are discussed here. But what is important is the questions are can be asked for 7 to 8 marks or 6 marks only. But still, irrespective of the marks, any question is asked, explain the concept, give an example, give a small simple program so that it doesn't take much time. And when writing your program, write comments next to it and what is the expected output. Then definitely you'll get full marks. Thank you.